Whole behavior was, it was like a consciousness revolution general, you know.
Changing the consciousness of
this planet.
Garcia's body was discovered before dawn at a drug treatment center near San Francisco. He had checked himself in, apparently wrestling with a long-time heroin addiction. Even fellow band members did not know he was there.
They are all way too distraught to have anything to say.
It was 29 years ago tonight, August 9th, 1995, that the world lost one of its most iconic musical figures, Jerry Garcia. The visionary lead guitarist and co-founder of the Grateful Dead passed away, leaving behind a legacy that would forever echo through the realms of rock and roll. On that somber day, fans across the globe were united in their grief, holding candlelit vigils in cities large and small to honor a man whose music had touched their lives in profound ways.
Look across the country tonight, as this remarkable medium of television allows you to do. Live, here in Washington, they are paying tribute to Jerry's memory on the Mall. And there they are in New York's Central Park, doing the same. And there, too, on the other side of the country, in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park.
In San Francisco, where Garcia's influence was deeply felt, the city became a canvas for mourning and celebration. Streets filled with fans, an impromptu memorial sprang up, reflecting the deep impact Garcia had on its hometown and beyond.
Night at Golden Gate Park in the heart of San Francisco, this is the scene. Hundreds of Grateful Dead fans gathered in tribute, clapping, enjoying Jerry Garcia's life. Such spontaneous vigils have erupted in cities around the country. Formal funeral arrangements have not yet been announced.
It won't be the same. Never be the same. I still want to see the band, but it's not going to be the same.
He was a brother, he was friend, he was confidant, he was all those things. He was idol, he was Jerry.
What does he stand for to you?
For the highest good of all people. Peace, love, joy, raise your consciousness, and stay high. Not necessarily drugged, but high. You know, and you can only get high by serving people. That's the truth.
Carlos Santana, another guitar great to emerge from San Francisco in the late 60s, pronounced himself deeply saddened to hear that my good friend of 3 decades has passed from this earth. Bob Dylan, who has toured with the Dead several times since 1987, said, "There's no way to measure his greatness or magnitude as a person or as a player. He wasn't only a musician and friend, he was more like a big brother who taught and showed me more than he'll ever know."
The sort of Dead got together in the sort of early stages and perhaps wrapping the acid test somehow. I mean,
You really want to hear all this stuff? It's so... okay, well, I mean, the Grateful Dead is really a collection of friends, people that were around at the time.
Garcia's journey into musical greatness began with his early years of honing his chops on the banjo. Practicing intricate banjo runs for hours a day and mastering the instrument's technical demands, Garcia developed a unique musicality that would later define the Grateful Dead's sound. This early dedication to his craft laid the groundwork for the band's groundbreaking approach to music, blending genres and pushing boundaries in ways that had never been done before.
The Grateful Dead invented an entire kind of music of their own, a sort of electronic Dixieland, if you want, that nobody else had ever played. They were playing rock and roll, but they did it in a way that nobody else did. And Jerry had that kind of mind. When you talk to him, he would never say what he thought you wanted to hear. He would say something very bright and very interesting and completely his own. And all of them are like that. The whole band is very intelligent guys, and they found their own path. They created an entire genre of music that I don't think there are any other bands that have played it or could play it.
The Grateful Dead made a wonderful contribution to the music world. They were one of the everlasting bands. And what amazed me, I guess, so much about them was the fact that even the fact that they didn't have like hit after 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 hit. Grateful Dead tickets were not to be had as soon as they went on sale.
Is it more than the music that touches you?
Well, there's a spirituality to the whole thing, to the whole scene, it's been lost a little the last few years, but there's a certain magic there that's going to be really hard to find elsewhere.
He captured all the best spirit of the human qualities, you know. He could make you laugh, cry, sing, you know, believe in God beyond a shadow of a doubt.
We just wanted to come down to pay respect, kind of, to Jerry. My mom and I are deadheads.
Other people, I think, feel the same way, that Jerry was, you know, talking to me and helped me straighten out a lot of things in my life just by being there and listening to the music and dancing. That's what it's all about.
They sound like old hippie values, but peace and love and music were the, you know, to me, the three central things that Jerry Garcia promoted.
Well, the music is a form of communication of the highest of the ideals of the 60s, which is peace, joy, bringing people together.
I actually received my fall tickets this morning. It's kind of beat.
I got up this morning with my coffee and checked my email and noticed there were about, 75 letters there.
I cried like he was like my father, like he was like someone real close to me.
I'm sad that nobody else in future generations got to see it.
The relationship they developed with their audience was based on their own ability to create magic, which they did regularly, and their complete lack of pretense. The audience loved that, and they still do. Actually, they were very enigmatic on stage. It's not like they would dance around or, do a show. They played the music, and if there was interplay, it was always subtle. You had to really watch for it.
Jerry Garcia's passing was not just the end of an era for the Grateful Dead, but a loss that resonated in the musical world, much like the impact of John Lennon's assassination in 1980.
He was a tremendously talented guitar player. When I was a kid, I used to actually follow the Dead, and some would say that that's what led me to the most f***ed-up life that I've ever had, and some would say that's what opened my mind. I don't know, but he will be sadly missed.
That was such a unique entity, the Grateful Dead. I mean, I don't think the Grateful Dead were part of a movement or a wave or a genre or a category or anything like that, so I don't think it signals the end of a particular era. It's a personal era.
It's like all of an icon. You can't compare Jerry Garcia to anybody. You could try to compare him to Lennon maybe, Jim Morrison, but you still can't, Jerry Garcia had his own style of playing, and that's gone forever.
It really feels like that the 60s are now like officially over. And what are all the Deadheads going to do now? What are they going to do? They're going to be bummed. I think everyone's bummed.
For the Deadheads who have come to San Francisco to mourn, the thought of no more Grateful Dead is as shocking as the death of Garcia himself.
It's gonna ruin my life. We travel, we follow the Dead a lot, and kind of like I can't survive without them.
When I first heard about it, I just couldn't talk. I mean, I was devastated. So it's just hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine, It's like, where do we go from here? That's the feeling.
We don't know where to go next, because he's alive, follow him around,
I think the Dead as a band are done. I mean, Weir will tour. Maybe they'll tour in different incarnations like they always have, but they'll never call themselves the Grateful Dead again. It would be a sham if they did.
Well, they have done the same thing that we have done, which is they've pursued solo careers all along, and because they play music, for the love of music, not just for being big, they'll certainly, all play music. I'm certain of that. Whether they'll do it as the Grateful Dead, it'd be very hard to do that. I think they may want to go on in other entities, but you'd have to ask them. We couldn't do Crosby, Stills and Nash without Stills. We could go out and play in other combinations, and we have, and we will do. But it'd be pretty hard. Jerry was a major magic force.
I think probably, maybe for once, rock and roll will be legitimized in the sense that he'll be treated more as an artist than just like a pop icon, and that's a testament to the man's work,
Yesterday was pretty shitty for us, so hopefully we can make some music and get a thing going,
I think that it's a good thing to have one thing that you can work on
on a more or less a daily basis and be able to see improvement in your own terms that is a result only of your own energy being put into the thing, you know what I mean? It's the kind of thing, anything that you decided to do, if you did it every day and it was something that you could notice yourself improving, even if it was whatever it was, you know, cat's cradles, you know, crossword puzzles, right, whatever. Sure, they're all forms, and they're all, and I think that the things that keep opening in front of you, that the more you do them, the better you get at them. You know, that idea, I think, is really a nice idea to have in your life. It keeps you centered to something, you know.
Garcia's music remains as popular today as ever. Tribute bands like Dark Star Orchestra continue to draw millions of fans each year, celebrating his legacy and keeping his music alive. When Dead & Company featuring John Mayer first emerged, some fans were skeptical about the new lineup's authenticity. However, Mayer and his bandmates quickly won over many with performances that offered fresh, yet respectful interpretations of the Grateful Dead's classic sound. Their recent shows, including residencies at the Sphere in Las Vegas, have provided unforgettable experiences for Deadheads, carrying forward a spirit of live music that Garcia himself would have admired. Hard to believe it's been nearly 30 years. Jerry Garcia is still deeply missed. However, the music has endured and will continue to endure. Jerry Garcia as an icon will just continue to grow. So with that, we'll leave it with some words from Bob Weir the night of his passing.
Well, I guess some sad news has come our way. This morning, Jerry Garcia, our friend, my brother, passed away. And I guess not much can be said about that except that perhaps it's a big loss for the world, for anyone who loves music. We also have to remember that his life was far more a blessing for all of us. And I think we should, perhaps, if we're going to dwell on anything, dwell on that. Thank you.